ancient runes, weird contraptions. This place is an Arcanist's dream.
The Meister is examining her wounds, prodding at this, wincing at that. Her face seems grim as she turns to you.
Do you know what it means to have the power of the divine, Godwoken? Just so. To accept divinity is to accept responsibility for the lives of every person and beast that walks Rivellon. If granted divinity, you would have the power of all 7 gods at your disposal. You could heal any wound, pull islands from the sea, right any injustice. But make no mistake, the Divine has only one duty: to protect this world from the Void. The Divine cannot use her power for anything else. Very well, then. Let's see if we can't snatch divinity from the jaws of the Void. The ritual itself is quite simple. Drop some blackroot in the bowl, mix in a little blood, set the concoction aflame, and then inhale the smoke. Ignore any feelings of dizziness, burning in your lungs, or a dire sense of existential dread. They're all perfectly normal, although you will need to sacrifice a little sauce along the way. Everything you need is here. Ingredients in the cupboard. Sauce in the glowing fountain. Ritual in the tome by the bookcase. Even an incinerator to provide a flame.
The Meister looks back at her wounds, curiously prodding them as fresh blood oozes out, staining her claws.
Once, although not by a god woken. My assistant did not believe that one had to be chosen by a god to become divine.
She waves a bandaged hand absent-mindedly, wincing slightly.
A headstrong and thoughtless girl, but the experience was quite educational. From observing her, I gather that the ritual involves inhaling the smoke, a lot of screaming, and a rather sudden death. Well, certainly. It is not my place to police the stupidity of others. I have to admit I was curious. Imagine if it had been a success. Why, then anyone could have ascended, even I. Alas, success was beyond her reach. Quite fascinating to watch, though. I've never seen a body burn from the inside out before. And do not lose anything. These ingredients are rare indeed. I'm not hiking back out to the cloisterwood to fetch you more blackroot.
Boring.
Opening the door, you see a selection of ingredients, thrown together in no particular order. After a quick rummage, you spot the blackroot nestled between the grated dragon's tongue and drudene oil. You gather up the blackroot, obsidian lance, and ancient bowl, and kick the door of the cupboard closed.
Boring.
As you suck the smoke deep into your lungs, your vision starts to swim and cloud. There is an intense pounding in your head, and you can feel the world fading. As the world fades away, you lose all sense of being grounded. You reach out, but you could feel yourself falling slowly, sinking into the depths of your own soul. As the world fades away,
It looks like the Hall of Echoes. But it looks like the Hall of Echoes.
Ah, there you are. I've been waiting for you. I was worried you weren't coming. Everything is a choice. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. Now, let's get a move on while we can. I brought you something. A gift. Look into my eyes. Now wait. Wait. Ah, now speak the spell and see what I've gotten for us. Please,
There. That's a bit more familiar. So, go on. Pretty fantastic, isn't it? You're a step closer toward becoming like one of them now. One of the gods, Losa dear. Come on, keep up. You can see spirits now. Try it next time you cut some innocent to bits. You'll be able to find out just what their sweet little soul thinks of you. Certainly. And here I am, all by my lonesome. The other Godwoken will find one of the seven hiding out in their souls, you know. Shriveled, half-dead gods looking to steal source from their chosen in exchange for the power to see spirits. They need source, and they're running out of it. Soon enough, they'll be little more than dead, dry husks, light enough to knock down with a puff of air. That is, unless they get help. Why would they want you? You think the gods have any use for a two-bit singer with a parade of unpredictables marching through her head? You may be Godwoken, but that doesn't make you worthy. But that doesn't matter, Losa. I saw something special in you. Something they didn't see. That's enough.
You'll be sorry you ever spoke to me that way, by the time this is done. Look what you can do. You can bless. You can see the spirits of the world. When will you believe that all I want is to see you, to see us, succeed? The void itself is hunting down the gods, leeching them in ways I only dreamed were possible. Drop by drop, they drain away, and your path forward becomes all the clearer. The gods have gone into hiding within your fellow Godwoken. They seek to become what we are, stronger together, unstoppable together. But we are far ahead of them already, and I know where we must go next. The Well of Ascension. Has a nice ring to it, doesn't it? You're smarter than you look. It's a lake, really. A pool of pure source in which the powers of the Seven lie united. The Seven, fools that they are, each gave up half their powers to create the first divine. To bathe in the lake is to become divine. We'll do more than that, though. Feeling thirsty? They thought that having a single divine to unite them would aid in the fight against the Void. But look at them now. Weak, fragmented, desperate. Even weaker than I expected. The Void is nearly here. You need to go to the Well of Ascension and absorb the source of the Seven. All of it. Then you'll become a god. How does that sound? Without me, you would have died in a shipwreck before you even got to Fort Joy. I have been good to you, Lohse. Remember that. The world needs someone to safeguard it against the Void. With the powers of the gods, you'll do a great job, don't you think? Much the same as it is now. I'll be your advisor, your helpmate. And in return, you'll ensure my survival in the new order of things. For make no mistake, a new order is coming. Whatever you want, you'll be in charge. You fret so much about others. I do hope one day you'll learn to let go and think of yourself. Let me show you what comes next. We'll make our way to the lake, but not yet. Not until you've become a true master of the Source. You'll need to learn to speak the language of creation itself. It won't be easy. You'll need to find tutors, masters of the Source, people who can teach you to increase the volume of Source you can control. Few remain, and the ones who do have been driven to the brink of survival. The Order has made certain of that. Still, I have full faith in you, Lohse. You'll find them, and you'll convince them to teach you. Once you have, find me here again. We'll move forward from there. I'll remember you said that. Till next time, darling. Go on.
A
man's spirit stands before you, clad in scholarly dress. When your eyes meet, he staggers back, terrified.
Who has taken my books? My notes? They were here just a moment ago. Everything was peaceful again. Sweet Armadia, why do you test your chronicler so, haunting me with spirits? Am I cursed? Has the goddess turned her back on me?
The chronicler shudders, looking sick to his stomach.
Again. This again. I sleep, then I wake, and another piece of the world is gone. When we were in Reaper's Eye, when I saw those tomes and scrolls, I was myself again. For a moment, the vision always fades. I'm just a remnant of the Empress's ambition. Why can't I escape? Why is there never a way out? Me? I archived Rivellon's history. I used ink to immortalize greatness on the page. A lizard empress sought my services. She needed an ancient design restored from a damaged text. She told me the design was brilliant. When the armor was forged, the empress showed it to me, and she trapped me inside. Consumed me. If it wasn't for me, the armor wouldn't exist at all. This is my fault. If I knew the way, I'd shout until every god heard me. But I have no idea. I simply want this to end.
The chronicler puts his head in his hands, collapsing in silent defeat. The Meister stares intently at you. Her eyes are tired and bruised, but determined.
Still alive? Gods above, there might be something to you after all.
Bathed in the half-light of these starless barrens, you spot a figure you could only describe as a second self. It looks haggard and weak, its very voice but a feeble echo of your own.
Sabil, come closer, so that you may see me as I truly am. Look me in the eyes.
The apparition clasps your face in its shaking hands. You suddenly feel your eyes tingle. Everything becomes brighter, sharper. Blacks and whites become glorious bursts of color, then fade back into their accustomed spectrum.
Blind eyes, shine brightly. Speak the spell and see.
Gone is the strange mirror image of yourself. Before you stands the god Tis Endelius in all his spectral glory.
You know me, don't you? I saved you from drowning. I blessed you, made you powerful, and now I've come to seek some power in return. Your god-woken soul is my last refuge, my last bastion. May as well make the best of what you have to offer.
Tis Endelius nourishes himself from the source that abounds in your presence. You feel it deep down inside yourself.
Ah, yes. Just what I needed. I tell you, dying just doesn't become a god. Don't you dare be ungrateful after all I've done for you. I sheltered you. Now you must shelter me. The Void itself is hunting down the gods. Leeching us in ways we never thought possible. Droplet by droplet, we are being drained. We're battling for our very survival. It's a battle we're losing, and should we truly lose, all will be cast into oblivion. Well, sort of. But by all means, let that be a motivator, not a cause for concern. You must realize, Sabine, that our fates are now as one, just as our souls are now as one. We are I. Together we are a force to be reckoned with. But if we seek to survive the onslaught of the Void, we stand no chance unless we become vastly more powerful than we are now. That means there is but one place we can go, the Well of Ascension. It most certainly will be. The Well of Ascension is a lake, a pool of pure source in which the powers of the Seven lie united. We gave them up freely to create the first divine. Each of us donated half of that which makes us gods. To bathe in the lake is to become our chosen. That is where the road to divinity leads. And you must be the first to reach it at all costs. I know. Or did you think I chose you for those majestic cat eyes alone? One must never enter into any endeavor, though, without realizing the stakes. The Void is stronger than ever. A new divine won't be enough. You need to go to the Well of Ascension, not to bathe in the source of the Seven, but to take it. All of it. Only she who claims everything will be everything. The Void's doom, this world's liberator. It's very simple, really. They will either bow to you, or be undone. But of course that is what they are saying to their own God-woken as we speak. We both know they won't bow, just like we both know you will never bow to them. Only one can become a god strong enough to safeguard our world. One, at the expense of all others. So make no mistake, Sabine. Chances are the road to divinity will be paved with dead gods. Their blood on your blood-red hands. But don't let that dismay you, for these sins will be washed clean by the knowledge you committed them to save all of existence. To save your kin, and your loved ones, and the world they live in. They will be at your mercy, which is vastly preferable to you being at theirs, wouldn't you agree? So fret not, but revel in the promise of the lake. I will lead you there when you are ready, when you've become a true master of the Source, and speak the language of creation itself. Our journey will be fraught with peril. It is a pilgrimage of challenges that will require you to command Source like only a God-woken can, and wield its most powerful spells.
Hoarse laughter rolls and echoes into infinity.
Perhaps. But what is a pilgrimage after all, if not a journey of atonement, in search of enlightenment? Focus not on death and irony, Sabine. On life and ascension instead. We are I now. The spells you need to know I will teach you when you are ready. But first, you must learn to channel the Source in greater volumes. That is why you need to seek masters of the Source. You must make them teach you, so that you may become a master in turn. So return to Rivellon and seek out these sages where they dwell. Convince them to share with you their deep-seated bond with the Source. Once you have, you may return to me here. And so much more. But I'm no longer who I once was, bound to you as I've become. I will teach you what I can, but the knowledge that will expand the bounds of your soul That you'll have to hunt for yourself. Something that will make you understand that for a god, there is precious little difference between the living and the dead. Source is. It is a constant, a subject of neither time nor transience. All of life is Source, and in Source it is, immortally so. You have the vision of a god now. Eyes that can see spirits, the souls of the dead made manifest in Source. Speak the spell during your peregrinations and you will see them. Where the dead lie, the dead linger. Best of luck, Sibyl. Go now, Sibyl. Rivellon and its masters await.
A man's spirit stands before you, clad in scholarly dress. When your eyes meet, he staggers back, terrified.
Who has taken my books? My notes? They were here just a moment ago. Everything was peaceful again. Sweet Armadia, why do you test your chronicler so, haunting me with spirits? Am I cursed? Has the goddess turned her back on me?
The chronicler shudders, looking sick to his stomach.
Again. This again. I sleep, then I wake, and another piece of the world is gone. When we were in Reaper's Eye, when I saw those tomes and scrolls, I was but the vision always fades. I'm just a remnant of the Emperor. Why can't I escape? Why is there me? I archived Rivellon's. A lizard empress sought me. She told me the design was brilliant. If it wasn't for me, if I knew the way...
The chronicler puts... She leans in, her bloody tongue flickering hungrily about your face.
Tell me, what did you see? What you know?
She sighs impatiently as you hack up the last of the green smoke.
You can't channel enough Source? Gods be damned, why couldn't you have a nice simple problem? Finding an orc to dance the hornpipe, perhaps? I know exactly what must be done. You must find a master of Source. And I could have helped you once, but no longer. The purging which the Magisters included as part of their service was quite efficient. They stripped me of my Source.
Not enough to silence me, but enough that I would not turn their insides to...
Enough to sever my link to the font from which all Source flows. And certainly enough that I cannot train you. So we must seek alternatives. Alas, the only Source Masters not yet hauled off to Fort Joy or turned into meat puppets are those too dangerous or cunning for the Magisters to contain. Sorcerers that allowed their power to corrupt them. Many are wicked, cruel, vile, and generally not good teacher material, but we may have no others to turn to. You will not be there long, I assure you. There is only so much you can glean from a twisted mind. However, it is the path we walk, no matter what the cost. No matter... what is asked of you.
The Meister doubles over in a violent coughing fit, struggling for breath. After a few moments, she regains her composure, wiping a thin smear of blood from the corner of her mouth.
No matter what is asked of you, you must learn from them. And you do not seem to be paying attention. Sorcerers, evil, controlling your source, saving Rivellon, please. Please tell me at least some of this rings a bell. Your focus, your only focus, must be on finding these masters, on finding the secrets to divinity. Nothing else matters. Alas, I am. And we do not have time to nitpick morals. The Magisters have kept ledgers with all known sorcerers, especially the powerful ones not yet captured. They would be an invaluable resource, but do be careful not to get caught. I was their guest for a time, and I promise you the gallows was the most comfortable part of the experience. And if their barracks turns out to be as empty as their skulls, just try to keep an ear to the ground. There may still be powerful sorcerers hiding in these lands.
As she speaks, one of her wounds reopens, a dark red stain spreading across her tunic. She hisses in frustration and starts to bind the gash.
I wish there was more I could do, but in this condition, I would be more a hindrance than a boon. Godspeed, and remember, do whatever it takes.
The Meister sits slumped in her chair. You notice that some of her scales have dropped to the floor.
What news? Can you channel enough source? Are you powerful enough to proceed? The Magisters kept records of each and every sorcerer in the area. The good, the bad, and the dangerously insane. You have the privilege of seeking out the final of the three. Break into the Magisters' barracks, find their records, and seek out masters of the source. Without their help, you will never have the strength to travel within your own soul. Remember, these are dangerous creatures, but it is vital that you learn what they can teach you, whatever the cost.
The Meister sits slumped.
What news? Can you channel enough source? Of course, my supply has rather gone up in smoke. You can find more in the cloister woods to the northwest of Driftwood. Hardly a charming place, but it grows nowhere else. Then why, pray tell, are you wasting both my time and your own?
The spirit of an elegant elven woman materializes before you. She seems surprised.
You can see me. A god woken in my presence. You honor me.
The spirit looks at you regretfully.
It is hard to hear of such power and not covet it for yourself. I lie to myself and convince myself that I am special. But I am not special. I am dead.
The spirit keeps glancing back. A difficult task since his shoulders are tense as...
How can I help? If I knew the way, I'd shout until every god heard.
The chronicler puts his head... Doubled over in agony, the shivering Magister spirit mumbles to himself, tightly clutching 3 golden stalks in one fist. Noting the attention, he straightens, revealing insignia spelling Kinnit, and a jagged wound spilling his innards upon the ground. He reaches a ghostly hand into your chest and squeezes your heart. You become Kinnit, his memories flooding over you and replacing your own. Warmth, comfort. You are Kinnit, playing cards with your mates in a cozy barracks. You stagger to tipsy attention as a white-clad Magister commands that one of your troop seek a lost caravan. It's a one-man job, a job no man wants. Your sly-eyed troop leader holds out straws to you and the others. Who will investigate? You feel the short straw and hear them shout, "Kinnit!" You know what that means. A lonely traipse in the cold dark. You dawdle and grumble all the way, sobering as you find the overturned caravan. Massacre. Your lantern reveals ravaged corpses in every direction. Inhaling sharply, you smell a thick black stench you remember secondhand from the few void-woken corpses your troops have found. As you approach a dark thicket, the stench grows stronger. In a flash of void and blood, a claw rakes savage stripes across your guts. As Kinnit dies, all goes black. Staggering back from Kinnit's deathly grasp, only your own blood now pumps through your heart. With your living eyes, you see him trembling in front of you, desperately holding out 3 straws. As you pluck the short straw from his hands, Kinnit weeps with relief. His wound disappears in turn, and he's restored to the model image of a strapping young soldier. He looks around, then looks at you, and then he smiles. Smiling broadly, Kinnit fades away.
Do not doubt, our divine order will prevail. I'll show you.
The spirits of a Magister and a dwarf are locked in ethereal combat. Their vicious blows make no impact, yet they struggle on. Mid-snarl, the dwarf spies your presence and staggers back to address you.
Sorcerer! You must hate the Reds as much as I do, eh? Rightly so. Reds had sorcerers locked up tight in that caravan. And you know where they were sending them. You look like you've been there yourself.
The Magister lunges for the dwarf, his exasperation clear.
Anna, you saw it with your own eyes. You know Sorcerer's Law Voidwoken, and you know we'd all still be alive if you hadn't attacked our caravan. Before it all, Voidwoken stole the sorcerers along the cliffs, headed for Seven knows where.
Not to flip your flops or nothing, but 'tis more that my boss Lohar is against Magisters than for sorcerers, if you know what I mean.
The Magister snorts in disdain.
Aloha! I should have known. Sorcerer, if you want to stay alive around these parts, you'll stay far, far away from that walking vermin. Though, on the other hand, maybe you should go stand near him. Maybe the Voidwoken could take him out where we failed. Ha!
The dwarf eyes you steadily and silently, his mouth a straight line and his eyes like marbles of steel. The Magister shrugs.
Well, if I knew that, we'd have taken him out long ago. All I can say is, he's somewhere in Driftwood, and everything he touches turns into annihilation. You dare strike me? Step back at once!
The bull flicks its ghostly tail at a non-existent fly. It registers your presence.
Well, guess I should have seen that coming.
History is written by victors. Do not doubt.
Dying, of course. As soon as they set me pulling that there wagon, I should have known this was how things was going to end. Of course, I can see the future, and I did see this, but I honestly thought I was sleeping. You sure you want to know? Alright, here is your future.
The bull shakes itself, swallows the card, clears its throat.
You're gonna die. Let me think about that now, too. Yeah. Okay. Right, here we go. Soon, maybe.
The bull shrugs.
Here. I don't suppose you could do me a favour and unhitch this here harness so as I can make my way to the Field of Echoes.
The bull nods its thanks and gently fades away.
I knew you'd say yes.
History is written by victors. Do not doubt. Our divine order will prevail. I'll show you. Lohar's boys are no match for Manchester's. Take that. You dare strike me? Step back at once.
History will remember you Reds with more venom than even the Black Ring.
History is written by victors. Do not doubt. Our divine order will prevail.
The spirit floats in front of you, his eyes unfocused and darting from side to side. Looking down at his mangled corpse at your feet, you see that the front is relatively unmarked, but his back has been eviscerated. Long, jagged cuts run the length of his torso. The spirit's eyes move in your direction, trying to focus, but he seems to look right through you.
A voice. Oh, I can still hear it in the dark. I can hear it whispering. He won't stop. His voice was everywhere. It danced with the scream insects, with the dwarf's tongue. They came from above. They laughed as they cut us down.
The spirit doubles up, raking his hands across his face, ghostly nails cutting deep into spectral skin.
No, I can hear it. Not the echoes. I can hear it. The voice. It's here.
The spirit shudders and cries, tears running down his cheeks.
Oh, Divine Lucian, protect me. You seven ancient gods, please. Don't let it get me.
The spirit's eyes dart left and right. It reaches tentatively a hand out for a moment, but thinks better of it and turns away.
Monsters. Gone. Swim. Free. Swim forever. It died. Eaten by a monster in the deep. I see. I was his monster in the deep. We all have our monsters.
my victors. Do not doubt our divine.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
Of course I'm right. Stick with me, kid. I won't steer you wrong.
The shimmering ghost of a lizard magister turns her gaze upon you. She holds your stare, boring into your mind, searching the blacks of your eyes for the secrets of your soul. But in so doing, she shows you hers. You are Zeushan, a young lizard magister, devoted to the Order. More than this, you are in love with a comrade, a human man of wit and kindness and sweet disposition, who goes by the name of Boris. You are Zeushan once more. Alexander dies. Worse, your human comrades look at you askance, as if his murder was your fault. Even Boris turns against you. When he's posted to Fort Joy, he does not say goodbye. Your heart is broken. Posted to the graveyard shift in the dark of night on the outskirts of town, you do your duty diligently, but your heart is no longer in it. So when you catch a couple of young sorcerers fleeing Raymond's net, you see how deeply in love they are. You do not turn them in, you help them to escape. But in the morning, they are caught and under torture give you up. They go to Fort Joy. You are hanged right here.
You ever think about running off? Like the farm is?
I've spotted something. unfortunate died just when he thought he was free. There are marks on his body. Something in the water got to him.
A corpse lies here, yet there is no ghost. Strange. Someone, or something, may have gotten to it first.
Hope you ain't looking for work in this dying town. Besides, you ain't got the look of a fisher about you, I'll tell you that much.
That's it. The barrels and the chests. On the double. You too, Julian. Show 'em how it's done,
Raspy
man.
gusts of breath wheeze from the creature's badly mangled mouth.
Don't let up now. Keep hauling that cargo.
You'd
These
swear
sacks
the
weigh like lead.
shark was smiling
It's a
at you.
disgrace I have to toil like this. I'm a magister, not a damned silent monk.
You too, Julian. Show 'em how it's done, man. Don't let up now. Keep hauling that cargo.
The silent monk does not even look.
That's it. The barrels and the chests. On the double. You too, Julian. Show 'em how it's done, man. Don't let up now. Keep hauling that cargo. That's it. The barrels and the chests. On the double. Go on, you mute sacks of flesh. Put your backs into it. I'll not lose another day to the tide. The Lord Dread awaits. Its sails billow with Dallas's breath.
The Magister stops, barking orders. He sniffs the air like a predator, turns to face you, the wolf eyeing the deer.
I'm going nowhere right at this moment. Nowhere since something crossed my path and oh so very sharply piqued my interest. Tell me, have you ever been strung up by the hands? Your body swinging like a bell's clapper as your bones are being broken with cast iron rods? Respect.
He licks his lips. Dry flesh turns wet.
See, I'd like to string you up too. Rack you with rods and leave you dangling over a puddle of your own blood and piss. Oh, no, that won't do at all. Innocence is a mask that doesn't fit you. I'm very good at what I do, see? I don't even need a sauce hound yapping at my side. There was a whiff of something in the air when you approached. A current of filth. That is to say, sauce. Best convince me I was mistaken.
He leans in closer and sniffs the air once more.
Interesting. So I was mistaken. Must have been ambition I smelt on you, not the magic that dare not speak its name. Very well. In that case, we'll forego the gallows and turn straight to the hunt. The very definition of your order's existence. Seems peaceful here, doesn't it? A quiet day in a quiet town. One wouldn't think these drifting woods toss on dwarf-troubled water, but they do. Consider for a moment the dwarf. What is he? A mule? A beast of burden? But some defy that role. There are rats among them, dancing to their rat queen's tune. I've need of a rat catcher. Of course, I must depart post-haste, but Julian here will stay behind and be a good little parrot. Ask and he will answer.
Stay behind? But I've my orders. Same as you.
Like I said, Julian is staying. And with that, I must be off. No hard feelings about the death threats, of course. How about we part shaking hands instead of stringing them up? How very heartwarming. One last thing. The Magisters here are diligent men and women. A stranger like you may run into troubles with them. Should this happen, just wave this piece of parchment in their eager little faces. My signature will placate them without fail, I assure you. Adieu and good luck. The Lord Dread awaits. The use of the gallows I pass on to you. The time has come, my stitched-lit lovelies. We set sail. Get on board and man your stations.
Left behind like a dog. Blah. 7 curses upon that ship.
The Magister is rubbing the dirt off his robes, none the worse for wear, apparently, from the blast of magic that knocked him off his feet.
You! The supposed source hunter! I'd be whining and dining aboard the Lord Dread if it weren't for you. Your meddling in Magister affairs had better be worth it. Yes, I am very much aware. Wasn't my damned head that hit the floor back there. Now answer me. Did you meet with a Magister caravan on your way into town? The hour's growing late and I'm beginning to worry something might have gone wrong. Good gods, I do fear the worst. They should have rolled into town many hours ago. Don't I know it? And I bet there's a dwarven highwayman hiding in every other bush. Raymond, that old goat, always suspected there's more to the driftwood dwarves than meets the eye. Hate to admit it, but I think he may be right. Too many things have gone wrong along Reaper's Coast to attribute to bad luck. Magister ships sinking, weapons disappearing, a caravan gone missing. Rumour has it the Dwarvian Queen herself is behind these acts of sabotage. That is what I want you to prove. They've always been snakes in the grass. Cheap labour, sure. And hard workers, too. Half of them are their queen's spies. Her eyes, her ears, her poison-pouring hands. You know what Queen Justinia is like, surely. A tyrant and a master strategist to boot. There's a local thug, Lohar. He runs an operation out of his hideout beneath the Black Bull Tavern. I suspect this man of being a spy for his queen.
It may be interesting to have a word with him. Find out what he's up to. Where I really want you to ferret around is Reaper's Bluffs, to the west of Driftwood.
It's wild territory, remote and hostile, where I believe the dwarves may have set up a base of operations away from prying eyes. Should you find any such place, and better yet, proof that Lohar is working in behalf of Queen Justinia, you will be handsomely rewarded, I assure you. In that case, go forth and let the hunt commence!
In short, travel west in search of a dwarven base of operations in the treacherous Reaper's Bluffs.
Should any such place exist, it would be very opportune indeed should you stumble across any correspondence between Lohar and Queen Justinia. Can't describe it to you any plainly than that.
You'd swear the shark was smiling at you.
Keeping it together, Ree. I'm all right.
Hello, missus.
The little boy looks at you. He picks his nose.
You be careful. My daddy's a magister. No, he's not. His daddy's a fisherman like most daddies round here. We're waiting for our friend. He went for a swim. He'll be back soon.
He went swimming all the way to Fort Happy.
Fort Joy?
That's what I said. Fort Joy. He's going to find his mum and bring her back. That's right.
I think he's an idiot. And when he gets back, I'm going to tell him so. Joe's mum smelled nice. Hello, lady.
The little boy beside her looks at you. He picks his nose.
Hello. Cool. How did you know that?
Mrs., have you seen our friend Joe?
They're innocents in a world with precious little innocence left. Let's leave them that way.
The truth hurts, but they'll get over it.
together, Bree? I'm all right, as long as I don't think about it too much. You're safe among friends. Never forget it.
Good. This town has enough problems. Tell me, have you seen a man around here? Grey beard, grey cloak, a look of madness in his eyes. Damien, take it all. Where is the snake? Magister Carver will have our heads if we don't find him. It's vital that you report anything unusual. We must know. Is that clear? He arrived in Driftwood some days ago, dressed as a tinkerer. He bought and sold a few knickknacks. But we thought nothing of it until our brothers started vanishing. As soon as he knew we were onto him, he ran. We think he's hiding in here, but he's a canny one. Now, be on your way. Who knows where he could strike next?
Oh, we dwarves had a kingdom, and we will have it back. I won't always be sweeping, I'll be riding horseback. We dwarves had a kingdom, and a proud knight was I. I won't always be sweeping, for my kingdom I'll die.
The dwarf keeps singing his wistful tune, oblivious to your presence.
Heavens to Bessie, another one. More queer folk than commoners in Driftwood these days. Steady on, love. Didn't mean no insult by it. Can't help but notice, is all. Ain't hard for a bull to tell. I bet you don't even know which of them voices is your own. We beasts can smell the others on you. Anyway, tavern's just down the road. Can't miss it. 'Cause that's where all the queer ones go. Clanking dwarves, dozy lizards. I even saw him drag a void-woken down there in the dead of night. Don't know what's going on in that tavern, but it must be a freak show in there.
Maybe I'm glad I ain't pulling carts of stinking fish round no more. But what's a beast to do if not pull?
As the Magister's eyes alight upon you, they widen until they are practically bulging out of their sockets. One tremulous finger rises from voluminous robes and points right at you. From her other hand dangles handcuffs.
Ifan Ben Mesd are living breeze. I don't know how you got free, but it'll be back to the joy with you and no mistake.
She considers your offer.
How much? So much? You have to be hiding something, and I'm sure Dallas will be well able to find out what that something is. Now, come on. Back into a cage where you belong. What? What?
The Magister is extremely flustered. She blushes bright red, red as a Magister's robe.
I want nothing of the sort. You hear? Nothing like that. No. Get away. Get out of here. Get!
Buying anything?
They don't come visit your ton. Who will?
Wouldn't you like to know?
Not in any mood to talk about it.
How can a beast enjoy this, when he's no notion of what his future holds? I'll be spooked till I'm securely hitched up again.
Smells worse over here than a dozen rotten eggs dropped in a vat of vinegar.
Then don't come over. Not like you're buying anything.
The dog lies there quietly, clearly in great pain.
What are you looking at? I'm sick here. Get lost. Got a pain in the neck. You got a bad pain in the neck.
It flinches. A low, threatening growl builds within its throat. Under the collar, you find the sharpened points of metal rivets, gouging the poor dog's skin. The dog bares its teeth at you and growls. The dog gives you a long, hard stare, but does not bite you. Yet. The dog goes to bite your hand, and then realizes the pain is gone.
Hey, I feel okay. Thanks, woman. I think I'll wander off now. Here, before I go, what can I do to show my gratitude?
I'm all right, as long as I don't think about it too much. You're safe among friends. Never forget it.
Master did.
Smells worse over
Huh?
here than a dozen rotten
Wait a minute. Master hurted me? Excuse me a minute. I'm gonna go now, but first I have a thing I need to do.
He turns to his master.
You bad man, you!
Wouldn't you like to know?
Penny for a grieving beggar whose dog ran away.
Your fish stinks of the void. What kind of rat sells such
God damn it! How was my livelihood? Penny for a grieving beggar? I reckon I'm owed it here.
Keep talking, dwarf, and you'll end up eating sawdust from a cell floor.
You wouldn't do that, would you? Oh, yes, you would do that, wouldn't you? I couldn't prevail upon you to change your mind, could I?
Keeping it together, Bree. I'm all right, as long as I don't think
Always
about it
woken
too
her
much.
everywhere.
You're safe among friends. Never forget it.
Yes, of course.
Smells worse over here.
He gives you a cool look, then rummages in his pocket. He counts the money out and hands it over.
That's your lot. Go on then, get lost, you freeloader. I'm working here.
Wouldn't you like to know?
Penny for a grieving beggar whose dog ran away. Then get out of the way, cheats. Penny for a sick dog, people. Go on there, penny for a sick dog.
Have you heard any news?
Nothing good.
You're
Boys
safe
woken
among
her everywhere.
friends. Never forget it.
Thank the divine you're here.
Lucian's day coming and I can't afford tatters. What's the world coming to?
Yes, yes.
If prices keep going like this, we'll be starving by the end of the month.
How you holding up?
Not in any mood to talk about it.
Good day to you.
Well met, friend. Interested in Driftwood's finest catch?
You look down at the cart and see fish with flaking scales, tumours and, in one case, 3 heads.
It's free to look. Just don't touch nothing unless you're going to make my purse jingle. Fair travels, friend.
Once this was a fishmonger's or a tackle shop.
I'm all right, as long as we don't think about it too much. You're safe among friends. Never forget it. How you holding up?
Not in any mood to talk about it. Wars are brewing, my friend, and we may find ourselves on different sides, in which case prices will go up. Buy now while you still can.
You're safe among friends. Never forget it. Keeping it together, Bree. I'm all right, as long as I don't think about it too much. You're safe among friends. Never forget it. Keeping it together, Bree. I'm all right, as long as I don't. You're safe among friends. Never forget it.
Divine order to march against the ancient empire!
Keeping it together, Bree. I'm all right, as long as I don't think about it too much. You're safe among friends. Never forget it. Smells worse over here than a dozen rotten eggs dropped in a vat of vinegar.
Well, don't come over. Not like you're buying anything.
If I don't come visit your ton, who will?
Wouldn't you like to know?
How you holding up?
Not in any mood to talk about it.
You're safe among friends. Never forget. Keeping it together, Bree. I'm all right. You're safe among friends.
Never
Never forget.
Junk? Why, I offer nothing less than the wisdom of the ancients.
Vapid fiction along the large method of habit.
Well met, friend. Interested in Driftwood's finest catch?
Keeping it together, Bree. I'm all right, as long as I don't think about it.
Buying or selling?
You're safe among friends. Never forget. Keeping it together, Bree. I'm all right, as long as I don't think about it too much.
You look down at the cart and see fish with flaking scales, tumours, and, in one case, 3...
It's free to look. Just don't touch fair travels, friend.
Keeping it together, Bree. I'm all right, as long as I don't think about it too much. You're safe among friends. Never forget it. Smells worse over here than a dozen rotten eggs dropped in a vat of vinegar.
Then don't come over. Not like you're buying anything.
If I don't come visit your ton, who will?
Wouldn't you like to know?
Keeping it together, Bree. I'm all right, as long as I don't think about it too much. You're safe among friends. Never forget it. How you holding up?
Not in any mood to talk about it.
Your fish stinks of the void. What kind of rat would sell such filth?
The kind that don't fancy starving, along with the rest of this town. It's all well and good for you with your rations. We've got to take what we can get.
Keep talking, dwarf, and you'll end up eating sawdust from a cell floor.
You're a delicate one, ain't you? Hope the smell don't drive you off. Keeping it together, Bree? I'm all right, as long as I don't think about it too much. You're safe among friends. Never forget it. How you holding up?
Not in any mood to talk about it.
Keeping it together, Bree? I'm all right, as long as I don't think about it too much. You're safe among friends. Never forget it. There's a lot of coal for the junk you sell, then.
Junk? Why, I offer nothing less than the wisdom of the ancients. And
Vapid fiction, along with a large helping of ham.
Keeping it together, Bree? I'm all right, as long as I don't think about it too much. You're safe among friends. Never forget it. How you holding up?
Not in any mood to talk about it.
Back again, eh? Looking for anything in particular?
There's a lot of coal for the junk you sell, then.
junk? Why, I
Keeping
offer
it
nothing
together,
less
Bree.
than the wisdom of the ancients.
I'm all right, as long as I don't think about it too much.
Vapid fiction.
You're safe among friends. Never forget it. Keeping it together, Bree. I'm all right.
It's free to look. Just their travels, friend.
Have at it. Got yourself situated.
Keeping it together, Bree. I'm all right, as long as I don't think about it too much. You're safe among friends. Never forget it. Smells worse over here than a dozen rotten eggs dropped in a vat of vinegar.
Then don't come over. Not like you're buying anything.
If I don't come visit your ton, who will?
Wouldn't you like to know?
Keeping it together, Bree? I'm all right, as long as I don't think about it too much. You're safe among friends. Never forget it. How you holding up?
Not in any mood to talk about it.
Keeping it together, Bree. I'm all right, as long as I don't think about it too much. You're safe among friends. Never forget it. How you holding up?
Not in any mood to talk about it.
Keeping it together, Bree. I'm all right, as long as I don't think about it too much. You're safe among friends. Never forget it.
Yep.
Stinks of the void. What kind of rat would sell such filth?
The kind that don't fancy starving, along with the rest of this town.
Keeping it together, Bree.
Wars are brewing, my friend, and I'll stand by your side. But prices will go up, even for one of our own. Buy now and buy often. Special prices for you, my friend. Gotta stick with your own in times of trouble, right? War is hell, my friend, but it's very good for business. Good luck to you.
Hear ye! Divine order to march against the ancient empire!
There's a lot of call for the junk you sent.
Smells worse over here than a dozen rotten eggs dropped in a vat of vinegar.
Nothing less than the wisdom
Then
of the
don't
ancients.
come over. Not like you're buying anything.
Vapid fiction.
If I don't come visit your ton, you needing supplies? Anything more?
Would you like to know?
How you holding up?
Not in any mood to talk about it.
We're insubordination!
Smells worse over here than a dozen rotten eggs dropped in a vat of vinegar.
Then don't come over. Not like you're buying anything.
If I don't come visit your ton, who will?
Wouldn't you like to know?
Hear ye! Bishop Alexander was slain by Seagulls!
How you holding up?
Not in any mood to talk about it.
a lot of call for the junk you sell, then.
Junk? Why, I offer nothing less than the wisdom of the ancients and
Vapid fiction, along with a large helping of
How you holding up?
Not in any mood to talk about it.
Smells worse over here than a dozen rotten eggs dropped in a vat of vinegar.
Then don't come over. Not like you're buying anything.
If I don't come visit your tunnel, who will?
Wouldn't you like to know?
How you holding up? More humans! Just what we needed.
You needing supplies? I'd stock up if I were you. It's madness out there. Never anything more.
There's a lot of call for the junk you sell, then.
junk? Why, I offer nothing less than the wisdom of the ancients and
Vapid fiction, along with a large helping of ham.
How you holding up?
Not in any mood to talk about it.
Bishop Alexander was slain by singers.
Until later, then.
There's a lot of call for the junk you sell, then.
junk? Why, I offer nothing less than the wisdom of the ancients and
Smells worse over here than a dozen rotten eggs dropped in a vat of vinegar. I don't come visit your tunnel. Who will? Keeping it together, Bree?
I'm all right, as long as I don't think about it too much.
You're safe among friends. Never forget it. How you holding up?
Not in any mood to talk about it.
Have you anything that will protect against void waking?
I can turn aside fire, cold and poison. But Voidwoken? God knows what'd stop those beasts.
Cold steel it is, then.
How you holding up?
Not in any mood to talk about it.
Keeping it together, Bree?
I'm all right, as long as I don't think about it too much.
You're safe among friends. Never forget it. Smells worse over here than a dozen rotten eggs dropped in a vat of vinegar.
Don't come over. What you're buying anything.
I don't come visit your ton. Who will?
Wouldn't you like to know?
Keeping it together, Bree?
I'm all right, as long as I don't think about it too much.
You're safe among friends. Never forget it. How you holding up?
Not in any mood to talk about it.
What kind of rat would sell such?
Kind that don't fancy starving.
Keeping it together, Bree?
I'm all right, as long as I don't think about it too much.
You're safe among friends. Never forget it. Keeping it together, Bree?
I'm all right, as long as I don't think about it too much.
You're safe among friends. Never forget it.
Tell me, you heard any news?
Nothing good. Always one, they're everywhere. Thank the divine you're here to protect us.
Yes, of course.